Ah, welcome back to the channel. Another brisk Sunday morning, and it feels good to be out here. I am working on just putting some knocks into these arrows. I let my friend shoot my arrows yesterday, but his string was too thick, so it was blowing out the knocks. So just put a couple of those in. Can't do it. Look, that one's gone. Well, still got a knock that I can use on another arrow in case one gets lost. And I'll just put this arrow. Oh, that wasn't helpful. Sorry about that. I'm gonna lock all these in. Put this away so we can use it another day. It's always good to have extra things around. And even though I haven't got to buying a fletching jig yet so that I could put fletchings on my arrows, I will do that soon. Back out here with the Turkish horsebow that we were blessed to get from Turkey, directly from Turkey through a friend. Turkish horsebow is my favorite. I do hear about the Assyrian bow, but I haven't shot it. However, I want to. This is what I have right now, and I love it. I love the size of it. It's short, compact, nice and powerful. It's a little cold out here, so I let my bow rest a little bit, because it was in the house all night. And just draw it back a few times. Get a feel between my body and the bow. Warm it up a bit. Never dry firing, but just getting a few good pulls on this 45 pounder before we start shooting, shall we? Some of the targets are a little beat up, but it is what it is, right? The thing is just being out here and enjoying the moment. Yeah, I'm gonna shoot at the 15 yard. I'll start there. I have 8 arrows. I need to go up to my daughter's to get my other arrows. These are actually my kids. And they asked me, Baba, you didn't lose any of our arrows, did you? So I don't lose arrows like I used to. This is my first year and a half shooting. I don't even know how long it was. First 6 months, or maybe even more. First 9 months, I lost so many arrows in these hills. Now my arrows are pretty easy to find if I do lose them, but the majority of my arrows are landing on target. And that's such a beautiful process. And it's really a process that I recommend anybody and everybody. You know, I'm not an archer, right? I'm taking this on later in life, but it is such a blessing to be able to have a a range near the house, because what it does for me is it brings me into nature, obviously, so it connects and grounds me there. but it also gets me in tune. It gets me in tune like nothing else. Let's shoot a few arrows and see where we are. This is our first shot of the day, so don't be too critical. And I have learned not to be critical of myself. Obviously, you know, most people get that later in life. Earlier in life, I would be critical of myself, but not just myself. That would often, bleed out onto others, and that's not something you want. Instead of being critical to get good at something, you want to learn to love it. Just enjoy the process of it. Let's go check out what we've got. Just enjoying the process of learning, self-discovery, really. Everything is really self-discovery, and that's how you get good at something. You really don't get good at anything through criticism. Let's see, what's a good... All right, so we did okay for our... You can see the targets are pretty beat up by now. What are we? We're about... It's the 22nd, 23rd day of the month. They usually change them out the first Sunday of the month, so they should be changed out soon here. Well, here we are. We got 3, maybe 4 in this area of, I don't know what that is, 8 or 10 inches in diameter. And 4 pretty good misses, but that's okay. First shot of the day. Sometimes first shot is, sometimes the first shot is very good. Beginner's luck type of thing. And that's not always good because then you feel overly confident, which again isn't a bad thing, but it's good to have a honest, right, an honest review of what's going on with you. I don't know what honest means here, because every shot is kind of the truth, right? Every shot helps you to gauge where you are internally and connected to this intermediary of the bow and string and arrow and the target. And that's alignment. You don't have a lot of things like that, right? You don't have a lot of things that really tell you precisely how aligned you are. And a lot of our technology helps to, guide human error, right? So we make less of it. But this is a bow, right? The compound bow over there, that's more like a machine, right? So it's gonna make a lot of corrections for you. Whereas with this, you've got to do, got to self-correct. And that's the beauty of these more traditional bows. Okay, that was a little bit better. Let me hang this bow up here. And I think even getting some video in is a helpful way to, to be more precise, because it's like having a partner. So thank you for coming with me. I feel more accountable. One of my arrows bounced out, and that happens especially with these lower poundage bows, but also the older targets. They're a little more beat up, so the bounce rate happens more often. But look, we got a pretty good grouping here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. This one was around there somewhere too. So about 7 in this little group. Not on the bullseye, but not bad. And then there's this one stray. These ones are very close to each other. And I think that the ones that are close to each other are very interesting. I've thought about it a lot, talked with other archers about it, and I think that is a sign of our brains. I think that brains, bodies, the whole thing, right? That we kind of pick up and can remember, where we were, and so the arrows fall in the same area. It's a good thing. Okay, let's see how we are this time around. Third shot of the morning. We're a little to the left, so we'll try out. We had a good group though, but a little to the left of the bullseye. So let's make an adjustment. Usually when I make my adjustments, try to make my adjustments more my intention than my physical action. Let's see how it goes. Hear that noise? Oh, again. They're touching each other. Okay, very interesting. I find it fascinating. To see where the arrows hit and those consistent groups. Very interesting. I mean, at 15 yards with an arrow, for them to touch, even if they're not, perfectly touching each other, it's just very interesting that you can get them to do that. But this is decent. You can tell that. So I've got a couple groups here and maybe a couple stragglers, but there's one group here, right? There's another group here. So we got left of the bullseye. We got a group right of the bullseye. We can have a couple stragglers above and below to the right and left. But that's interesting because to me it was the story of me trying to stay grouped but calibrate to more towards the bullseye and to the right. So I got 4 to the left of the bullseye, 4 to the right of the bullseye. So you see how I'm calibrating there. It's so interesting to see. plays out on the target. And it's just one of the most beautiful things. I'm gonna shoot this 15-yarder one more time. We'll see how that goes. It's so interesting to listen to the inner conversations as well. Right when I said and kind of put it in my mind and shared it with you that I was gonna shoot this 15 yards one more time, I could almost feel internally an anticipation of going to 20. And we want to regulate the feelings that come around with those thoughts, because they can really throw you off. You want to, and that's just some work that I do in my own self, because those are some of the messages that I get. That's what I hear going on in me. Let's see. So, but it's nice to articulate it. It's very nice to articulate it, because just getting it out, just talking about it, and this doesn't always happen when I'm alone. But just talking about it is helpful. It gives me some accountability, helps me to process that anticipatory shift and choose to stay, or at least try to stay more present. Because what I want to do, this is our third round. What I want to do is I want to make sure that I am doing well around that bullseye. I don't want to lose the gains that I've made, right? I want to actually get better, especially before moving on to the 2020, going to the next, 5 yards out. Is kind of like graduating, or it's kind of like getting a reward before doing all the work. So let's see if we can keep it, keep working here. Keep working in the present. Oh, that would have been on the bullseye or close. Bounced out though. The trick here is for me not to get proud, not to put too much me into this. Stay open and working on finding that bullseye. Staying real crisp. Let's go see what we got. Let's go see just what we got here. All right, that's the best grouping so far. You see that? We got 2 in the bullseye, 2 touching each other. You can hear that. 2 touching each other, about maybe a little bit more than an inch from the bullseye. So that's where I want to be. Still in the range where I want to be. This one's about 2 inches from bullseye. This one's maybe 4. So we have 6 arrows, within that 8-inch diameter. This one that fell out was very close, if not a bullseye. Then we have 1 straggler, so pretty good. This is how I'll tend to shoot. I want to get, see some of these, like this black one here, does not have anything, it doesn't have concentric circles to it. this white one does, and sometimes the black ones do, and I wish that that it would, because I want to be inside of this white. That's my goal. I want to get over half of my arrows inside of that 8-inch diameter, and I want to do that 3 times in a row. That's my goal. Usually when I'm out here on the range, eventually I want to have more discipline and challenge myself more to have maybe 3/4 or at least 1/3 of my arrows inside of that space. But I haven't got there yet. And that's okay. Okay, let's use these white targets here. That's maybe a little bit easier. So here we are at the 20-yarder. Let's put the targets over there. I don't know if you can see me shooting, but that might be helpful for some of you. I don't know. Yeah. I think I personally haven't had any archery lessons. Shooting for the left upper left target. '20 is different than 50. Once I go out to 20, my arrows start to stray a lot. My groupings start to stray. That's not always, but it's happening here. That's a sign that, we're 5 yards more out. And so we have to be more crisp in our work. All right, let me hang this up. Let's go see what we got. "20 yards, first shot at 20 yards of the morning." But man, it's enjoyable to be out here in nature, right? And I have to be, in gratitude constantly and enumerate or count the blessings that I have, because I'm here in the Bay and our ranges here are great. Our ranges here are great. I mean, the Bay itself, right? We pay for it. It's beautiful. All right, let's see. Got a few stragglers. Looks like we have a few inside of the white, and that's where we want to be. We have one right in the X. 2, 3, 4, 5. So we have 5 out of 7. 5 out of 8. 5 out of 8 in the white. Not bad, but look how far these are from the bullseye. Too far. And this was, I think, my first one. First arrow was way down here. So let's see if we can tighten that group up. Again, the first one was, I have to step over a little stream here. That was actually, I think, a lot better than I anticipated. My first arrow really got me checking myself and making sure that I, stayed inside the inside of myself, connected, working on that connection. And this is really important to me. I'll give you guys a side view here. Let's see how that goes. Grab this bow. I do like to carry my arrows like this in my bow hand. I used to carry them all in my arrow hand, but the way I held them, it would ruin the fletchings. There's also a way you can hold them inside of your fingers like this. And I've never been comfortable. I never got comfortable with that. But it doesn't seem too bad. It's weird. Let's see. Let's try it. First time. Okay. I'm going to go for the bottom right. Oh, that's nice. Ooh, kind of like this. Oh. Okay. That's not bad. The thing is, you've got to kind of load up, right? And I guess just getting used to gripping them this way, that's going to be the thing. But I like it. Yeah, they're right here, ready to be knocked. Wow. Ooh, I like this. I think that's gonna work out. I haven't tried that style for months now. I think I had tried it in the past, but it was so weird. I mean, who holds things in their fingers that way, right? So that was strange, but let's see what we got here. Okay, we don't have the results that we got last time, but I wouldn't expect it because that's such a big shift in holding the arrows. So we have 3 in the white. You can see there's almost a group though. There's almost a group going here. It's a wide group, but again, a change like that, you would expect that you'd be off a bit. However, all the arrows, where was this? I think this one was the only straggler that didn't hit the actual bullseye, didn't score. So not bad. Not bad for such a big change. That was great. I think that side view was good, huh? Let's try that side view again. Okay. Let's see how quickly I can make the adjustment. I mean, I'm still shooting slow. I'm not shooting kind of rapid fire. Still shooting a little slow. I guess it's kind of a compromise between, not necessarily fast, but there's some speed involved just because the arrows are so close and ready to be shot. I don't have to do much to get the arrow prepared. Oh, another thing is I'm going to turn the white fletching out so that they're really ready to go. Oh, yeah, that's okay. That is another detail as well that I can't control when I'm holding them in my bow hand. Kind of want to get closer here. Let me move the camera back because my arrows are in the ground right there. So let's move this camera back a bit. Hopefully that's not too much. Okay, let's go. Upper right. I like switching it up. I like switching up the target. Sometimes I'll shoot 1 arrow per target, but right now right now that's not so important to me. Right now I'm just trying to get a sense of how my groupings are, and yeah, especially with this new hold. This is cool. Yeah. Ooh. can get used to this. Man. You can tell I'm not drawing it all the way back. That's because it's cold. And I do thumb draw without a thumb ring. So the cold plus the thumb draw keeps me a little ginger. Okay, I'm getting, so because I'm squeezing these arrows, now my fingers are kind of, in a half fist there. When I hold my string, I'm feeling my finger with my thumb, and it's like here. Then I can feel that middle finger with my thumb. It's kind of weird. Throws me off a bit. Yeah, that's different. These small things. There, it wasn't there. Okay, so those last two where I didn't feel my middle finger with my thumb, those landed in the white. So it's interesting how just a little bit of input can change your accuracy. And the thing about archery or anything is that this is how things work, right? A small shift can change everything. Anyways, now we have 4, so we have half of the arrows in the white. One close to bullseye, and second one about 2.25 inches or so. Second one about 3 inches. The fourth one straddling the edge. We have a good group here, but that's to the left. But all my arrows are kind of to the left of the bullseye, 2 to the right. So, but that wasn't bad for that change up. And that's what we want. We want to be resilient. We want to be able to manage change so it doesn't throw us off, and get better with time with the new changes. And this is just, this is archery on the range, not the course, right? So the course is cool because that gives us lots of variation that we have to adjust to. I love this new way of holding arrows. I have not visited this for so long that it's very foreign, but I'm gonna get more comfortable with this, and I'm gonna make this efficient for me. And I'm gonna make it. It's already getting this feel of this kind of weird feel of holding things like this. I'm already getting more used to that. But it is kind of a weird feel because there's like extensions from your hand, from your fist, and it's just so foreign. Okay, left, upper left. Let's go bottom right. Let's go bottom left. Well, so much for improvement. I don't think I improved on that very well. I think I got 1, maybe 2 in the white, and the rest were far. The rest were far out there. I had about 5 that hit the target. Oh no, 4 that hit the target here, but the rest were a ways out. That's what it is, right? Again, you make some adjustment and you're gonna have changes in your arrow. Not even close, not even close. Close but no cigar. On but black, 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 and 2 in the white. Okay, so there you have it. I'm gonna hop off this video and get some shooting in on my own. I'm not so interested in where my arrows land right now. What I'm more interested in is just getting comfortable with this new way of holding the arrows, right? Without me being comfortable, there will be no accuracy eventually. But the more comfortable I get with this hold, we'll get more accurate. So, hey, let me take you along with one more round here. And we'll see how we do. Okay, getting a hold of that a little bit more even. Just learning how to load the arrows is interesting. Bottom left again. Let's go upper left. Oh yeah, there you go. That load was different. That was much more efficient in the loading process. And that's what we're looking for. Small adjustments as I understand and get more comfortable with the hold. Wow, super efficient. That felt good. It feels good to make adjustments over time in these details that you weren't aware of before that. And then, having that as one of your data points that you want to start to make consistent, turn into a consistent pattern, right? Consistent habit. That's really important. So let's see, how many arrows did we get in the white this time? 4. Got 4 in the white, 7 on target, and 1 straggler. So not bad. Not bad. Not bad at all. Thank you for coming on that one. That was very inspiring, actually. Just to feel new things. My thumb brushing up against my middle finger that time, it didn't bother me as much. I actually didn't even feel it. I think what happened was I probably got so excited about an efficient way to load these, which is, I don't know if you missed it, but I'll show you it more closely so that you can try it out too if you want. But everybody's gonna have a different thing, right? everybody's gonna have. And so it's all about trial and error. So here we go. This is what I was talking about. The way I want to load these arrows in my grip is I want the fletching to be away from my bow, right? So I load it like this, so I don't have to turn the arrow when I load the bow. The white fletchings are out, and I've learned to drop them too. Once I load it, I drop them, and then that's done. Because what I was doing was I would load it and then I would pull, and that was inefficient. And so there's the fourth one there. Boom, bam. There it is. They're all ready to go. This one's obviously ready. Let me see how. I want to see how I shoot. So right now, what happened last time was when I got down to 2 last arrows, they hit in the white. But when I'm holding 3 in my hand, that throws me off. So I need to make an adjustment inside of that and just be more comfortable like this. Probably just start kind of walking around like this and move my hand in different ways while I'm not shooting or while I'm shooting. Maybe I'll run with this just to get me really acquainted with, what that feels like eventually, so I don't even have to grip tight, right? It should be a very sort of natural flowing process. Nothing really like I'm clenching and holding on to them. Just learning how to be real comfortable with this. Okay, so let's do the load again. Here, drop, here, drop, here, drop. Whoops, sorry. The last few were disappointing to me. The first 4 were nice. They felt good. And I guess in some ways I feel like it was because I was really focused on just relaxing into that new grip. And that was a pretty good one here. Let's look at that. We got 4. We got 4 on the white. 1 strong straggler, all lone wolf here. But the rest are kind of grouped together. At least these are grouped up there, even though they're just, riding the line. But these 4 here, those are decent. You got a 5th one here in the black. So all of them scored, right? All of them scored. None were too far off. So that's cool. I'm happy with that. Still, more than half of the arrows are inside the white. And that's awesome. That's awesome. All right, guys. Have a good day. And I hope you get to shoot.